Okay, so good evening, guys, and welcome again to the third week of our Cairo Bootcamp. That's Nairobi Bootcamp. Last week we had Darlington talk about Cairo 1.0 syntax and data types, array, and functions as well. So this week we'll have Victor go through some Starklings exercises. So it's going to be quite practical. So you can always have your PC and attend to everything like he goes through. Okay, so Victor, over to you.
Okay. Yeah, welcome everybody. We'll be continuing from where we stopped the last time. So first of all, we need to refresh what we did on Monday. So we'll be starting off with cloning the directory. That's the repo, okay? Um, so that we get a hang of what is going on. Reporting, then go over to um, terminal, we paste, and then I close and cd into the directory. Next thing, we open our code editor, and then we have this coming up. Next step is to compile the binaries, okay? So we go over to here, paste, and then hit enter. Once that is done, we begin our washing, to interact with the environment. So we have to hold on a minute for this to complete. So BIC, how is it going now?
Yeah, I've managed to progress a little bit. I'm around the exercise number 14, so I like it so far, so good.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Sarah.
Hi, I'm with
Okay.
you.
All right, all right. Thank you. Thank you. So let's hold on for this to finish. We done almost completing how we start begin our work. So while this is happening, I will have to go back to my editor and then open up a terminal. I'm working with this actually. All right. Are you done compiling? All right, it's taking a minute. Just let's hold on. All right, we are almost there. Um, almost there. Now the next thing is to begin our words by pasting the right commands, and then we'll be pointing to the first exercise. Now, based on what we did the last time out, all we had to do was open up the intro, um, and pretty much we're able to understand that this is a valid function, which acts as a gateway to our Cairo program, right? So, and then all we have to do now is remove the I am not done to I am done, and everything will be all right. Give me a second, please. Okay, welcome back, guys. So once we change from I'm not done to I'm done, then we save, and that will take us to the next exercise, which is intro 2. And then we went on to interact with exercise 2. And this is only required, like we're required to write a valid function here, right? And based on what we learned in the previous exercise, we can easily write it as fn main, okay? And then so once we have that, we save and we see what happens. We go back to our terminal, it's compiling. And we're done. So next thing is to move on to the next exercise by taking away the normal, our usual guy, you know, like I'm not done, then we say, so I'm done. Thank you. And then move on to the next exercise, guys, which is exercise 3. And last time we established that Cairo is a type language, right? So right here, we had to implement the type that B is, which is type what? Felt from 252. And then you have to return the values accordingly. So we do that using our straight arrow function like that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, yes. We
Okay,
can hear you.
so we control save. Oh no, we have to return our fail save. And then we'll be all right. Now control S, right? Or command S, wherever you are. Now, if we go over to the terminal, it's compiling, it's taking us to the next exercise. Now, to get to the next exercise, we change, I am not done, right? To I'm done, and save the file, and then we progress. Yeah, exercise 4 here. Right here, we talked about helping our, a fellow Starkling, the boy, young Joe, right? And we actually helped him. I think it was our VIC that helped us and pointed him in the right direction. So we added felt here, felt 252, of course, and then corresponded it with what we have here as well. We have to define the type so that the compiler will know what it's dealing with. And then we return it as well, 252. And what's next? I think we removed this guy. Yes. After which we save, Control S, and our compiler should be happy. At that moment, it's still compiling. Now we have to wait to know the next direction to go. Okay, this is good. The next thing to do is to remove the not here to I am done. Okay. We have this, and this will take us to where now. Let's hold on a second. We'll get there shortly. Okay, so we are on to variables now, guys. I don't think we get this far the last time, did we?
No, we were around at this point.
Okay. All right. So we're on to variables now. Now we are here, variable 1. So last time we talked about returning undefined variables. And right here we have a variable named X, which is defined to be 5, but this is not a valid syntax in Cairo, right? So the first thing to do is to do what? Can someone help me here?
Define it with let.
Oh, thank you so much. So we add let's here. And then yes, we are okay. So now when we save, Control S, Command S, whichever one you're using, we check our terminal is compiling. So we give it a second. Yes, we are successful, right? So in order to move on to the next exercise, all we have to do is change from I'm not done to I'm done. And we save. In our mind, this should be the next guy to tackle. And now you can see in the next exercise, we actually have comparing, this is about comparison, right? Using if. Now we're comparing X to 10, X to the 10, right? But the issue we have there is that X at the moment is undefined. As you can see, it's not tied to any value. So in order to make this a valid line of code, all we have to do is set X to be 10, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Then we
That's fine.
save as well. Yes. Then we save and right about now should be compiling. That's variable two. You know, we are looking at this, using this kind of this part here to locate where we are. Exercise variables, variable two dot Cairo. So this is all good. Now to move on to the next exercise, all we have to do is change from this to that, and then we save the file. And then we progress to the next place we want to be, which is variable three. Now, what we have here is almost similar to the previous exercise, right? Except in this case, we happen to declare x explicitly as what? Field 252. So in order to make this work, all we have to do is set x to have some kind of value. It can be 2. And then we save our file. Give that a minute to load. I think we should be all good to go. We should be all set to go. All right. Are you saying something?
No, nothing.
All right. All right. So this is all good. Then we move on to the next exercise by taking off notes and we save our file. So in variable 4, which is the next exercise we have to tackle. Now, x here is defined, unlike in previous exercises that it was undefined, right? And right here in this line, that's line 9, we are printing x. Now here we are giving an instruction, say don't change this line. And then we print another x. Now let's check the compiler and see the error message is giving us. It says cannot assign to an immutable variable, and it's pointed at this. Can you see that? X equal to 5. So in Cairo, by default, every variable defined cannot be changed. But in order to be able to change a variable, we have to use a special keyword. And that keyword is what?
Mute.
Mute.
Mute. So we have to mutate this guy here, and then everybody will be happy. We save our file. Let's see what the compiler has for us.
So I have a question, Victor. If we
All
have
right.
to add the keyword mute, then what's the difference between just a normal variable and a constant? Because a constant isn't expected to change as well.
Okay, we'll get there in a minute, okay, Victor. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Once we get there, I will explain the differences. All right?
Okay.
All right, thank you. So once we have this, then move on to the next exercise by taking the notes out of here and then we save. So the next exercise to tackle is this guy here. Now let's first of all try and understand what is happening. We have our main function, and then here we define a variable number, which we set to be of type U8. That is 8-bit unsigned integer. And we're giving an instruction here, say don't change this line. So we're not going to touch this line. Remember previously we had to mutate the variable by adding let somewhere here. But this time around, we're giving a specific instruction not to change it. Now here we are printing the variable here, number. Also in line 10, we're instructed not to rename the variable. And in line 11, we attempt to print this variable here. Now, in order to make this work, all we have to do is add a let keyword here. And everything works now. We save, Ctrl X. Let's hold on a second for it to compile. Then I will give an explanation of what is happening. So this is successful, right?
Yeah.
Now we go back to our VS Code. So in Cairo, we have something like a concept called shadowing. So a variable can shadow another variable. Now, whereas at this stage of the program, that's line 9, number has the value of 1. We can actually reassign it, give it another value by using the let keyword. Now, for some of us that are maybe football fans, we can think of it as what used to happen maybe back in the day in Barcelona, where you had Neymar and Messi in the same team. People will always, like fans, right? They will say that Messi is overshadowing Neymar. That was the reason why Neymar had to leave Barcelona to PSG. And we had an instance like that even in Real Madrid as well. Cristiano Ronaldo and Benzema with Gareth Bale. Now, what I'm trying to explain here is this. In as much as this guy is taking control, it does not mean that the guy here, this guy here is no longer here. This number variable is ever present, but at this stage of the code, this line, the person that takes all the, all the accolade is the guy in line 10. So it's like a concept, right? Shadowing. And let's see what happens there. So it compiled, and you can see we printed this thing as 1 here, and also here we have another one that's 3. I think you can see that 1 and 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they are ever present. It's not like one is overriding the other. No, they are always there. Depending on the stage, they come into action. So let's move on to the next exercise. By taking off, I'm not done, I will set it to I'm done. So let's hit variable 6 now. Awesome. Now, this is like constants. And VSC asked the question a few moments ago about the differences between variables and constants. Now, variables are defined with the let keyword, right? Whereas constants are defined with const keyword. That's one difference. Second difference is this. We can actually define a variable like so. Let x, okay, let x equals 3. We can do this for and the compiler will not compile. We can annotate this to be of type felt 252, and the compiler will be happy. Do you see that? But for the case of constants, the rules is this. Okay. Now the third difference is this. Whereas you can mutate variables with the mute keyword, you cannot mutate a constant. You can't do this with constant. No, it's not done. Yes, are you with me?
Yeah, I'm following.
All right, awesome. So those are the basic differences, and it's very crucial. Now, in order to make our program head to work, it's expected that we annotate this by adding the type. And by looking at this variable, we can see it's of type words. Can you help me?
Unsigned integer.
Unsigned
Eight.
integer of what type?
I think it can be U8, U64, U252.
Okay. No, this cannot be U8. Okay. U8 must have something like this. Like all integers must have something like this. Do you see
Okay.
that?
Yeah.
Yes. But remember a value like this one here. Oh, sorry. Can you see the one I'm pointing at?
Yeah.
It is still a felt somehow, but felts are defined without having to attach all these suffix here, the U8 underscore U8. So a felt is usually this way. Go
Okay.
on here.
Okay.
Yes, this is a felt. So we have to add felt 252 here. Now, this is the one that gets to become U8.
Okay.
Yes. So I believe that is clear, right? So we say, is there any question here, please?
No question. No question.
Okay. Okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Tosi. Yeah, thank you. 252. Thank you. So that's it. Um, so we move over to the next exercise by changing the I'm not done to I am done, and we save our file. So we now go back to our terminal to know the direction to take. Somebody wants to enter. Okay, admit. So we are on to the next part of the exercise, which is on primitive types. Now in Cairo, we have what we call primitive types. Okay. Let me see. This is where it is. So we open it up. Yes. Primitive. Primitive is like basics, like native, right? And in Cairo, primitives are classified into two broad categories. The first one is the scalar type, and then we also have the compound type. Now, under the scalar type, we have three categories as well under that. And this comprises of the bools, that's the booleans, the integers, and then felts. Is someone saying anything, please? Hello? Okay, let's continue. So right here in this exercise, obviously we are testing for booleans, right? And then we have some instructions here in line 2. It says, fill in the rest of the line that has code missing. Now it says no hints, there is no tricks, just get used to typing these. So here we made our imports, then our function main. Now this first line is all about defining a variable, which is money, and it is set to true. And now we are using if expression to like test the condition here. If it is money, we want to print this, good morning. Coming down to line 17, we have a tag that says finish the rest of this line like example or make it false. So obviously we know that it's evening, it's a variable, and at the moment it's undefined. And before now we say that we cannot return undefined variables in Cairo. So all we have to do right now is define this, right? up above here, we say, let is evening equals, we said it to be true. I mean, when my location is actually evening. So we save the file. Let's close some of these guys. Okay. Let's see if we are right or we are wrong. And guess what? We are right. And you can see the print statements up here. Good morning. For the previous one we had, then this is what we just did now. Good evening. So I believe this is clear enough. Does anybody have any question at this moment?
What happens if we change one of those Boolean types to false?
Okay, let's do that and see what happens. So let's change this guy here to false. Okay.
Yeah.
Remember, initially it printed good evening. Now let's save our file and see what happens. Control S. Let's go back to the compiler and see what it has to say. Okay. Now, can you see what happened here?
So
Our
it just
compiler ignored it because it is not true.
okay.
You understand? Yes. So it works too. So let's go back to code here. And what if you add else here? What do you think will happen?
I think else will handle the false case.
Okay, so that's awesome. Let's forget about it. And then move on to the next exercise by removing. I'm not done. Now we are done. We're moving on to the next exercise. That is primitive times 2. All right, looks like we have a lot here. Where is this? Okay, right here, the instruction here says, fill in the rest of the lines that has missing codes. No hints again. There is no tricks. Just get used to typing these. Now we are talking about short strings in Cairo. Now, natively, we don't have the concept of strings in Cairo. Okay. But if we ever need to represent something that looks like strings, they are actually called short strings. And at most, 31 characters in length. And this makes them what? Felt. And we represent them using what? Single quotes. This is very, very important because if you use double quotes, the compiler will complain. Also. So now, looking at the code we have here, at this stage, that's line 14. We define the variable, my first initial, and it is set to C. And you can see what we have here, short string. Now we have if is alphabets. Now this is a function, right? So if we go down, let's see what we have here. This is where the function was defined in line 42. It's taking a reference character of type felt and it returns bool. And then here we have some conditions. If this not true, and then we also have another one that's for capitals now. We return true, else false. Then we also have another function that is testing for numbers. That is numeric. And you can see it's checking for numbers between 0, and 9. And okay, what we have below here is just implementation of traits, which we have not treated at the moment. So let's go up a bit and see what's going on here.
So Victor, I have a question on the function we've just
Okay.
looked.
Okay.
What does the greater than or equal to operator do to the string? It looks at the size of the, what does that do in the context of the string?
Okay, we are checking for the character, right? Is it bigger than A or equal to
Big
A?
in terms of in order of the alphabet, or bigger in terms of the number of characters within the quotes?
A character? No, it's not character. Yeah, it's character actually, not numbers.
Okay.
So it has to be between A and Z. Now it has to be less than Z, as you can see here, the character we're talking about.
Okay.
Yes. So it has to be less, then we return true.
So it looks at
yes, we do.
the alphabet.
You say what?
It looks at the character within the alphabet,
Character.
like how they are ordered in the alphabet.
Okay. Yeah, something like that actually. Something like that. So looking at these first guys here, this set of guys, we are going to use this to complete what we have from 27 to 30, okay, 40. Yes. So first of all, we had to define a variable here and set it to C. And note we use the keyword mute, right? Because it changes. And then right here, our to do is finish this line like the example. We're talking about the example here. That's 14 to 25. And we're asked to like, what is your favorite short string? So we'll come here. All we have to do is let's mute our variable here now will be what? Your character, right? Because this is a variable. While is alphabetic is a function. So we have to make it your character. Let's use is equal to maybe V for VIC. And then we terminate the process. Let's Control S and see what happens. Go back to our terminal. Now it's loading. Let's see what happens. All right, everything compiles. And we are getting the printout is alphabetical, right?
Yeah.
So let's try something else. So what if it is a number? Let's say 6. And then we save. Let's see what happens.
Numerical.
Yes, you can see it's numerical, right? Why the first guy here is alphabetical? That's the best testing that we did. So let's test for one more thing. Maybe this time around, a special character. Let's use comma, for example. Control S. Let's see what happens. Okay, what we have here is neither alphabetic nor numeric. I believe you can see that, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So are we to try one more, or should we carry on now?
I have a question.
All
What
right.
is the significance of the ref keyword?
Okay, ref keyword, you can see here, it's like reference. we are trying to reference a character. So whenever you use ref keyword in your function while defining the parameters, if you want to call it for that function, you must use the ref keyword here. The concept is about ownership, right? In Cairo. So yes, but we're not dealing with that at the moment.
Okay.
All right, thank you. So now to move on to the next exercise, we move from I am not done to I am done. And then that should take us to the next exercise, everything meaningful. So we go here and see what is happening to make sure we're on the right path. Okay, we hold on a second for this to compile. All right, our guy is complaining, like seriously. And he's complaining about name, the name variable. It says it's missing something, okay? You know, why I'm showing us this is we can always read the errors and actually, the compiler sometimes is telling us what is wrong with our code. Okay. So now we see we have issues with name and it's pointing us in that direction. So all we have to do is go back to our code. And then looking at here, we define something that looks like a variable, which is start. And we set it to this and then number here, which is also a felt. Now, before that, we are talking about the structure. The instruction here says the structure the part tuple to call prints on each member. Now, at the moment, the variable name and age are currently undefined. And like we have said repeatedly, you can't return or print an undefined variable in Cairo. And before now, I said something about types of primitives. I said we have two major categories under the primitive types. One is the scalar types, and then the other one is what? The compound. Now, under the compound type, we have tuple. It's usually called the compound type because tuple can take in different types. You can see the first value we have here is a short string. The second one is what? A felt. We can even add a bool somewhere here, like so, true. And that will be fine. But let's stick to what we have at the moment. So in order to destructure this, I believe some of us are used to familiar with JavaScript. Destructuring this is also similar to what we used to do in JavaScript, right? All we have to do is define our parentheses, and then we add the first variable that we want to define, which is what? Name, comma, age. And then we set it to be equal to what? Cat. And we terminate the process. After this, we save the process. Let's see what the compiler has to say. Let's see what the compiler has to say. Primitive. Okay, our compiler is happy. Where is this other guy coming from? This is start 3. Okay. So I believe you can see the return value here. That is Fury, McPherson, and then 3, which is the age of the cat. I hope this is clear, guys.
Yeah, it is.
All right, thank you. So move on to the next exercise. Everything in the production exercise 4. All right, we have so much to do in this page. So that's all right. we take it a step at a time. Now, we have some instructions say modify the integer types to make the test pass. The second thing to do is learn how to convert between integer types and fields. All right. Now we have some imports, about 3 of them. That's into, try into, and option traits. And we have our first function that sums 8-bit integers and then return also, of course, 8-bit integer. Our first to do is this: modify the types of this function to prevent an overflow when summing big values. Okay. So in order to prevent an overflow in a function, all we have to do is to increment the types. So at the moment, we have U8. If we increment this to U16, we'll be okay. Now, overflow is, okay, so some of us that are maybe familiar with solidity, for example. Okay, let's forget about solidity at the moment. Now, for U8, the highest value it can take is this, 255. And you get this value by raising, having 2 raised to power 8 minus 1, right? So once you reach this value here, if you add another value to this, something called overflow happens, meaning it returns to its default value or lowest value, which in solidity used to be 0. I don't know what it is in Cairo. Okay, so but in order to prevent this from happening, because you don't want such behavior in the program, right? All we have to do is increment this accordingly. And then if we are taking in type 16, we have to return 6 of type 16 U16 as well. So I believe this is okay now. The next to do says convert to felt. Okay. Now we are converting a small number, which is U8, to felt. That's a field element. And before now, we know that felt is very large compared to U8. So in order to return the value here, we have to use this x dot into, and we'll be all right. Now we are using into because we are setting that the value that will be returned here will not overflow, because U8 will always be less than 252. I hope that is clear.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you. So let's move on to the next exercise, next to do here. Now we want to convert from felt to a U8. Now in this case, there's a chance that felt we are taking in, this function is taking in, might be bigger than the number U8 can take. Hence, we have to check for overflow and underflow. To check for that, you use a special method called unwrap. But before we send it to unwrap, we have to do something like we are returning x dots try. You see the one we are trying, try into. In this one, we know it's confirmed, right? We used into here. Here we are trying. And now, one more thing, you check for unwrap. So in case this is bigger, we want to unwrap it. And then, is there any problem here? Why is it complaining? Okay, let me take off this. Okay, this works. So if remember last week, if we are to use this, then we have to return it using the
Return keyword.
return keyword, and that works as well. Yes. So the compiler always knows what it wants. And that's what to do here. Next to do is on the text. Now, if you look closely here, we are using this some big words, big number. And this big number is actually the function we defined here. So right now we are testing for the values we want to pass in. Now to do says, modify this text to use correct integer types. Another instruction says, don't modify the values. So this value here, that's 255. We are not meant to touch it. Next one is, see how using the UH suffix on the numbers lets you specify the type. So VIC, can you see, based on the question you asked earlier as well about felt and UH?
Yeah.
Exactly. So the UH, this suffix here, it can be U16, it can be U64, it can be U128, depending. But in this case, all we have to do here is change this to what? U16. And down here, we also have another U16. And then here we have U16. After this, I don't think we have any other to do. Then we save. Let's go back to the terminal and see what it has for us.
So Victor, the tests in Cairo are just written in Cairo and they can just be put inside the same file. Or this is just
Yes,
for
you
simplistic
can
purpose.
do it this way actually. You can do it this way. Do you understand? And it works.
Okay.
Yes. So you can see, I think we are good to go. Our compiler is happy. Every test passed. So so we have to move on to the next exercise by changing from I'm not done to I am done. And then let's close a couple of times so that we know where we are. So let's see the next place we are meant to go. You hold on a second. All right, that's operations. That is operation one. So let's go back to our VS Code. And then we look for operations, which is this guy here. And we have the first exercise under operation. Now, integer types implement basic comparison and arithmetic operators. Felt operations should be avoided when necessary, as they could have unwanted behavior. You know, back in the day in Cairo Zero, felt was all we had. But at the moment, we have some native types. So that's why we are advised here to always use the native types whenever possible. And we should avoid felt because it will come with some issues actually. Now this is our to do here. We are tasked with returning the solution of this. That is x raised to power 3 plus we have y minus this minus 2. And also our compiler is complaining here because rest at the moment is undefined. And we ask not to change it. So to make this work, all we have to do is come right here and we define our variable. Let's rest equal to. Now we need to break down what we have here into x multiplied by x multiply by x plus y minus 2. Then we terminate the expression. Now, we didn't use x exponent, like it's written here, because at the moment, Cairo does not have that operator. So, and this is all we have. When we save this, let's see what happens. Go back to our terminal. It's compiling. I'll give it a second.
Victor, what data type is usize?
Usize, okay, usize is also U32. You get?
U32.
Yes.
Okay.
That is, it's like what you call a nickname for U32.
All right.
Yes, thank you, Toshin. In the chat box, Toshin said 32 bits. That's U32, right? So thank you for the question. Let's go back to our program. So save this passage. We are progressing gradually. And then we move on to the next exercise, which is operation 2. Awesome. Now we have a lot to do here as well. Okay, I don't know if any one of us, okay, let's first of all read the instructions. Remember last time you calculated, okay, this is for, now Cairo has native types, and they are listed here, U8, U32, and that is U size, up until U256, which supports more operators than felts. Now, and always watch out for overflows. Example in the last test. Let's try them. Okay, from what we did previously, can someone tell us what we can do here in order to make this work? Anyone, please?
I think the modulus operator is we are going to have, we define let res is equals to x, and then the percentage sign, and then y to be able to.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we have let res equal to x. We get modulo y. We terminate the expression. Yes, thank you so much, VIC. So the same thing happens here. We come down here, we say let res equal to, we're checking for division now, so it should be x divided by y. We terminate the expression. And the last one says, yes, last one says let x, okay, rest is signed x multiplied y. We have what? We terminate this. And I think with this we should be good to go. I will say, let's see what our guy is saying. So I believe we are making progress.
Yes.
Oh, awesome, awesome. So this is success. And all we have to do now is move on to the next exercise, which is let's see. Um, Let's see where it's gonna take us to. Okay, we are on to if is the next exercise we have to tackle. And we have it under here. So we open the first. Okay. Now we have our function here, bigger, that takes two parameters, this size, right? And then within the function, we are asked to complete the task here is to complete this function to return the bigger number. That's the instruction here. Now we are also tasked with do not use another function call. And we are not meant to add additional variables. Okay. So this is like a basic flow, right? You are given two values here, A and B. And we are like, which of the two is bigger? Now, return the bigger value. So all we have to do is to come down here and say, if, remember we are under the if exercises. So we are testing for if now. If A is greater than B, open this, we want to what? Return.
A.
Can someone help me, please? Thank you so much. Want to return A. Why is he complaining? Else, let's complete this and see what's else. Else, return B. Okay, it's waiting for the completion. Funny. So let's see what happens. Command F. I'll go to our terminal to see what's up. And the compiler is happy. So we are good to go. Now on to the next exercise we go by checking out I am not done to I am done to fail. And then obviously we should be moving to the next exercise, which is this. And right here we have it seems a lot actually. The first instruction says step 1, make me compile. Step 2, get the bar for this and default to, well, this is for the test passing. And we're giving the hints. Now coming back to this function, which is full if fees, that takes the parameter physics and return a false. Okay. Now the instruction says complete this function using if, else if, and or else blocks. Now the instruction again says if physics is this, that's fees, return fee. And I think this is actually implemented for us. So we have that as if this is this, we return fee. The second instruction says if physics is equivalent to false, we should return back. So this one use something here is of no interest to us. So we take it out. And right here we modify this to be else if. And we go down and say, oh, we have to attach the condition here. Sorry for that omission. Else if this is a short string like we know, physics is equal to equivalent actually. We're comparing to what now? We're comparing it to false, which is this guy here, false. And we have that is FZZ. Okay, we complete it. Once that is the case, we want to what? Return bar. That's bar here. Why is he complaining? Oh, sorry. We have this guy. What's happening? Oh, sorry. We are good to go. So, and then, okay, then else, else below. We want to return. Oh, sorry, can't be double. We want to return what? Bars.
Buzz.
Awesome. So I think we are done with what we are supposed to implement. Now we save and see what the compiler has to say.
We're supposed to have the quotes on physics, or I think we don't need them.
Physics. I can't understand what you just said. You said we're supposed to have the page.
On line 17.
17, okay, yes.
Physics, does physics need to have the quotes?
Okay. Thank you so much. That was my bad because it's actually a variable, well, a parameter in this case. So yeah, my bad. Yeah, this is how it's meant to be. Thank you, VIC.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's see what our guy will tell us. Awesome. Everything works. So we're moving on to the next exercise by changing it from not to and done Ctrl S. So we go back to this guy to point us in the right direction. So from the part here, you can see we are moving on to functions, right?
Yes.
Thank you. So go back to our editor. This is functions. So we open function one. Awesome. So what exactly do you think is wrong with this particular exercise? Anybody?
It's calling a function that doesn't exist in the
Oh,
file.
yes. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Sarah. So like we've been saying from the very onset, you can't call a variable, function, anything undefined. It's not going to work. The compiler will complain. So to fix this, you have to define the function, call me, function fn. Don't do that mistake I was about to do. Call me is fn the function. And then we do this and we complete it. And we save our file. So we go back to the compiler and see what it has to say. So everything works here. And we are good to go to the next exercise. Changing our not done to we are done. And then obviously this should be the next guy on our item. Now, can we figure out what is wrong here, what is happening, and how to fix it? Anybody coming to my rescue? Okay. Before now, I think it was the,
Hello?
yes, Sarah, I can hear you.
Okay, so I was just going to say that the function call me the norm is not declaring
Yes.
the data type. So yeah,
Okay, thank
I
you.
think that
Yeah,
should be
awesome.
fine.
Yes, we talked about it initially. Like, Cairo is a typed language. As such, we must define the data types. Okay, so all we have to do here is to add. This is now we have something of a clue. This is obviously a felt. So we have to add felt 252 here, and everything is okay. And we see. I believe this is clear enough to everybody.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, I think the compiler should be happy now. Awesome. Awesome. So let's move on to the next exercise by telling the compiler we are done with this. And then the next exercise should be function 3. Okay. We have another problem here. Again, can someone come to our rescue? Um,
Need to pass an
I
argument.
okay. Okay. You need to pass an argument. Is that all we have to do?
And define the type of the argument on line 8. I think like maybe let's say number 100 and then use 64.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. So we have 100 according to VIC. We add the U64. Remember, we are adding U64 because we defined it here in the function for me. So everything must go accordingly. Now we see. And then let's see what the compiler has to say. Now, while we wait for the compiler to reply, let's see what we have in the next exercise. And okay, compiler is happy, obviously. Compiler is happy. So let's move on to the next exercise now. We save it. And then, okay, here we go. Let's read the instruction and see what is happening to know what is required of us. Now, this store is having a sale where if the price is an even number, you get 10 Cairo bucks off. Like, it's like a discount, right? If you buy something, say is the number 2, you get discounts of 10 bucks. But if it's an odd number, it's 3 Cairo bucks. Now we are giving another instruction. Don't worry about the function bodies themselves. We are only interested in the signatures for now. If anything, this is a good way to pick ahead towards future exercise. No problem. Now let's look at the function body we have here. Okay, you say we shouldn't worry about the function body, right? Yes. So here we have our variable, original price, set to this 51. And then here we are calling the self function, right? And self function is this guy here. So let's look at the self function and see, self price actually, and see what it's all about. Self price function takes the parameter price. That is what? This. Now, the function is meant to return something, right? And one issue we can easily see here is that this function is not returning what it's meant to return. And that is failed 252. Oh, it's not 25, sorry. It's you what? You 32. You 32. And is there anything else we are meant to do? I don't think so. I think we are good to go. So we save Ctrl S for saving. And we move on to the terminal to see what's up. All right, it's coming up. Function 3. It's kind of went back. Let's hold on a second for it to come. Okay, so the compiler is happy. And now the next thing is to go over to the next exercise by changing from we are not done to well, I'm done. I'm done. Um, so let's see what the compiler is telling us, the direction we have to head to. Let's give it a second. Okay, why are you trying to hold us back? I believe we're taking care of. Does he not see? Let's see. Here we go. Okay. And okay. Yeah. Anybody saying anything? Why are you not moving to the next? Um. Okay. Let me just take it out. Control else. Let's see. Okay. Let me see. We have to restart our terminal. So know what is happening. Okay. Um, give me a second, please.
Hello, I think you have muted CC.
All right, welcome guys. Like I want to restart our terminal. You see, there is some issues there. Okay. So let me see. Um, let's hold on a second and see what we have here. That's everything seems okay here. I don't know why it's stuck. Doesn't want to progress. So we are almost getting to the end of the class now. And next week we continue with the second half of the exercises. Now, in as much as we will continue next week, I I will advise us to like go through the things we've done, as well as when you're going through the exercises, try to complement it with Cairo book or any other resources you can get your hands on. That way, you might even get to pick one or two things that you didn't cover here in the class. Also, um, now you can try the rest of the exercises. Okay, just do the best you can. By Monday next week, we we complete the rest. Yes.
All right.
So, yes, yes. So let's hold on a second for this to compile. It's gonna take a while, but we are here. Mm. Also, guys, while solving the exercises, if you like encounter any bond, any issues at all, the community is there to help you. Just ask, and someone always there with help, right? Even if I didn't respond, someone else can. I mean, that's the power of the community. So we always have each other's back. And yeah, that's it. So we are almost, it's actually happening. Did we skip any of that section? Oh. Ah, terrible. Terrible. Can be that bad sometimes. Sorry about that, guys. That means I have to add this right down. Right. So I not done. Okay. Thank you. Oh, it's taking us to the next exercise actually. So no problem. So let's exclude this guy and since it's not saved yet, let's just undo the whole thing. Um, so we have our first quiz, right? Thank you. Right. Let's see. We have our first quiz. Um, let's navigate to the quiz tab. This is the quiz somewhere here. Quiz open. All right. And what is happening here? Okay, yeah, we are here now. So right here, back to VSP. Now we have some set of instructions. It says Mary is buying apples. The price of an apple is calculated as follows. An apple, that is one apple, costs 3 bucks. Okay. Now the condition says if Mary buys more than 40 apples, each apple costs 2 bucks. That means she gets some kind of discount. That's 1 discount, 1 buck discount, right? Now we are taxed with this. Write a function that calculates the price of an apple, of an order of apples, given the quantity brought. Now, no hints this time. So it's expected that we can do this. So I will need all of us to do this together. Now we're giving an instruction here. So put your function here. That means we have to implement this. Take out this guy. Also, we take this guy out. So, can anyone help us out here? Anybody? All right. Let's do it together this way. Now, obviously, we know the price of the apples, right? For the both occasions. If you buy more than 40, you know it will cost 2. If you buy less, it will cost 3. So all we have to do is taking the variable that changes, because anybody can walk into the shop and say, I want to buy oranges. Now, so I can buy 3, so I can buy 100, so I can buy 20. So we need to establish the amount we want to buy, right? For this, you can use a parameter, right? You ask the customer coming in, okay, you ask me in this case, how many number of apples do you want to buy? And that should be number of apples, right? Now that should be of type size. Now we know it's of type size because we have some text here that is testing whatever we have here in size. So it's not like it's a magic. No, we're not making a kind of magic here. Now, I believe we are supposed to return this as this size as well. Are we not? Well, let's see. So now we say the condition comes. If number of apples is greater than, right, 40, Mary buys, if Mary buys more than 40 apples, then we want to do this to the number of apples times, oh, I've seen another error. 40, sorry, 40, this 40 shouldn't be just 40 because if we leave it this way, it means it's a choice. So we need it to be of type this side. That is this guy here. So this other guy should be of type this size as well. And then else, else, it should be number, oh, sorry, please, sorry.
Times 3.
This should be times 3, exactly. Thank you for coming to my rescue. That is, no, it's times 2 because Mary is buying more than 40. You get that?
Yeah.
Yes. So when she buys more than 40, she gets a discount. So we have this side, yeah. Then coming down here, should be number else, that number of apple, which is the default value, times, now it should be 3. 3 this side. That's it. So I believe we have everything we need here. We save. Let's see what the compiler has for us. Yes. So this works. This works. Everything works. Let's go back here. And we remove, we can't afford to make this mistake one more time. From I'm not done to I'm done. Let's see the direction is pointing us now. Okay. The next exercise on our item is loops. Now, let's look for loops. Okay, this is it. We have loop 1. Okay. So, now before now, we don't actually have loops in Cairo. But as of a few weeks back, loops started implementing. And at the moment, this is the only kind of loop we have in Cairo. That's loop period. So, yes. Don't you want to say something?
No, not really. Just continue.
Okay. Okay. So this is how you now have it to do here. Make the test pass without changing any existing line. All right. You have the test, which is test loop. And here we initialize a counter variable that can change. Of course, it has to change because our loop will always assume, it will assume different values, right? At some point it will be 1, some point it will be 2. And then we define, we state the loop keyword, open our curly braces, like starts. We have break, where we are implementing the count. That's the variable here. Below here we are testing. Now, to make this pass, we need to make this condition here. Because at the moment, break is not actually working. Reason, because there is no condition that is implementing it. Do you understand that?
No, just cover that again, please.
Okay. The thing is, break actually helps us break out of loop, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But at the moment, this break statement here is not like, it's not active. Reason, because we don't have any condition that we implement it. You know, something has to happen before we break, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So for us to break out of the loop, we have to set a condition. And that condition should be somewhere here. We use if statements. If counter is equal to is equivalent, like texting, right? It's equal to 10. Then we open this and then we call down here. And now we have a condition that is next before the break keyword comes into action here. So when we save this file, let's see what happens. Everything works. Now going back to our page, we had to use 10 here because we are tested for 10 down here. This value can be any value at all. It can be 20, it can be 5. Is that clear?
Yeah, Victor, I have a question. Initially, you said that loops are not implemented in Cairo. So, but
Yes,
we,
yes.
right? So what's the difference between what we've just done and what you meant when you said loops are not there in Cairo?
No, what I meant by loops wasn't in Cairo earlier. You know, we used to have Cairo 0, right?
Okay, Cairo 0, but Cairo 1 now we
Yes.
have.
Yes, we have loop in Cairo 1. And
Okay.
even this loop was implemented like 3 weeks back.
Okay.
Exactly. The initial release of Cairo 1, there wasn't loop there. But as of like 2, 3 weeks back, it was implemented. So,
All right.
yes. We move on to the next exercise by taking this off. And then see. And that should be loop 2. I give that here. Now we have another exercise here. Just like in the previous one, we defined it as a variable and initialized it. But watch out what is happening. Right here, we are saving the loop, whatever that's coming out of the loop, into a variable. Now, to do here is what? Return a value from the loop. Now, to return a value from a loop, all we have to do is to use our break keyword to add the value we want to return. Does that make sense? Yes, it makes sense, right?
So we use the break keyword when we loop like 5 times.
Yeah, well, yes, after 5 times, we return whatever value that we have at that fifth. So we have something like this. We're looking at break, and we're looking to the variable now we want to return is counter. And also, your loop, you have to terminate it with your select program like this.
All right.
Any question?
Nope. No
Okay.
question.
Okay. So let's see if we are right and we are wrong. and go back and figure our mistakes out. Awesome. Everything works. So if we change this, I think we'll be stopping here for today. We are going to have to continue. I think that should be from, I don't know, maybe from online or something. So pretty much we've covered like 25 over 46. That means we've done more than half. By next week, we consider other types. That is, we start with enums, and then we move on to structs, arrays, and the rest. So thank you everybody for coming around. I don't know if Paul is still around. Hello, Paul, are you there? Hello, Paul. And we have Sharon. Good evening, Sharon. Is she there? Hello, Sharon. Okay, Dixon. Where is
Hey
everybody?
guys.
Okay. Welcome. Hope you're able to understand. Yeah, welcome. Hope you're able to understand what we did.
Sorry.
Were you able to follow the class like?
Yes, but then again, see, this video is recorded. I'll just go through it because I feel like I've missed a huge chunk of it.
Okay. That would be awesome. And thank you for
All right,
coming
thank
around.
you.
Okay? Yes. So, is Dixon around, please? Dickens, are you there?
Yes, hi, I'm here.
Okay. Like, we'll call it a day here. We'll continue from
Yes.
Monday. Okay.
Yeah, true. Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Okay.
Victor,
Thank you.
for the effort. Yeah, it's true. We can conclude. It's almost 2 hours right now, and also there'll be a recorded version, definitely. So thank you guys for showing yourself. Sharon, please, there'll be a recorded version as well, and also you can push all your questions via Telegram so that we can all learn and improve, right? So thank you so much, guys, for being here. Thank you so much, Vic, for your efforts and the preparation and everything you put in place to ensure that this class is successful.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Yeah. I'll see you soon.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, bye. Yeah, bye. Okay.